Let's get this meeting started. I hereby declare this meeting of the Iowa State Student Government duly open for order at 6:03 p.m. We'll kick off the night, as always, with roll call. When I say your name, please say here or present. Starting with Ogba. Becker. Bruick. Burks. Dre. Eisma. Engelken. Frencher. Hackbarth. Heidenreich. Holiday. Kohlhaus. Kuehler. Mahoney. Mays. Moskar. Momini. Patel. Schnepp. Shivraj. Slade. Slater. Tansey. Thornton. Topete. Vo. And Senator Yonting. Did I get everyone? We had Grayson, the new guy. Yeah, Senator Margaret. I didn't have you on my attendance yet. Perfect. With that, we do have quorum for the night. So we'll move into Pledge of Allegiance led by Speaker Mahoney.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, we will move into our program for this evening. Do we have a program? We do not have a program for the evening. So now we'll move into open forum. This is a time where any student from the student body can come forth and speak their mind about issues concerning the student body. Please say your name and major, and you'll have 10 minutes to speak.
Really, I'm just up here to embarrass Senator Kuehler and tell you all that it's his birthday. So, happy birthday, Senator Kuehler.
Day to Happy birthday, Senator Kuehler. We will now move into adopting the agenda for this evening. Is there a motion to do so?
Mr. President, I move the amendments reflected on the screen.
It has been moved and seconded to amend tonight's agenda as reflected on the screen. Can everyone see that? What are we doing, Speaker Mahoney?
Strike 2022-2-006F. It was passed in committee because it is a line item transfer, and 2022-2-009F as it was tabled indefinitely in committee.
All right. Is there any objection to adopting tonight's agenda as reflected on the screen with those amendments? Seeing none, the agenda shall be adopted or shall be amended. And going back on the main motion, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt tonight's agenda. Is there any objection to doing so? Seeing none, tonight's agenda has been adopted. We'll now move on to the approval of last meeting's minutes. Is there a motion to do so? It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of last meeting's minutes. Is there any objection to doing so? Seeing none, those minutes shall be approved. We'll now move into our committee reports for the evening, kicking off, as always, with Speaker Mahoney and Rules.
So, Rules had another fairly long meeting. We did see one bill, and that was the bill to confirm a new fraternity senator. We'll see that bill in just a little bit. It did pass favorably UC. We had a good conversation with him, and we're excited to hopefully see him as a fraternity senator. Otherwise, we continued some of our conversations about what Rules Committee is going to do with contract review. We're going to work closely with Budget Review Task Force and focus more so on some of the legal side, or not legal side, but the language side of the contracts. So hopefully by the end of this session, we will have a kind of report on all the contracts that we have and some of perhaps Rules Committee's recommendations, just sort of what they're doing. As well, we started having some conversations about what we want to do with committees going forward and how we're going to structure those, as well as how we're going to structure sort of the non-feasance system, misfeasance, malfeasance system, as well as like potential removals, impeachments, all that jazz, and kind of how that all works within the context of Senate, student government as a whole. So we're continuing to have some conversations about those and generating new ideas about what we want some of these major systems that we know have some major problems to go or to look like moving forward.
Any questions for Rules Committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to Finance with Director Claiborne.
Hello, everybody. I will send out Claiborne's cash cow in a few minutes, but the main things that happened in committee last night were that the Dance Marathon line item transfer was approved in committee. Again, line item transfers are not increased in funding. They're just moving one line item to another, so COA can kind of have more bookkeeping. And then the equestrian hunt team bill was sent to Senate favorably by way of unanimous consent. And then the funding the Kappa Alpha Psi was tabled. They didn't have one of their funding eligibility requirements set in stone, but hopefully I'll be working with them and we'll be utilizing our other resources on campus and in Ames to see if they can get funding. But other than that, just starting PNC, kind of get that on the ground running. And then in the next few weeks, we will kind of get our annuals timeline down to see what best fits with our schedules for next semester, since we have pick classes soon. And then also just for treasurers, and then also our annuals timeline.
Are there any questions for Finance Committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to PR. We have Christian, with Director Grenstaner.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying the transitioning weather. I'm so excited about fall. So we started Outreach Week this week. So exciting. Thank you, Jamie, for all of your work. Keep on signing up. There's still slots to be signed up. Get your outreach credit done. Reach out to the student body. So much fun. Stuff is still happening all week. We have a mass email COA submitted, and it is getting worked on by the IT department ASAP on getting out to the students. We have an at-large interview next week, so maybe the potential to confirm an at-large member. And we are moving the graphic request form to the teams, and we are working to get it on the website as well underneath the PR committee. So it'll be quick and accessible for you guys to get for your future events or projects that StuGov is working on, and you need a graphic to be submitted. And we have our hype video completed. Thank you so much, Sundar, for all that you did. It looks amazing. We're going to get it out this week or early next week. So be on the lookout on socials. It looks so cool. But that's all from me. Thank you.
Exciting week this week for us. Is there any questions for PR? Seeing none, we'll move on to Diversity Committee with Senator Agba.
Yeah, Director Maluski couldn't make it today. She's currently giving a ISU daily inclusive language in journalism presentation, but we are continuing our reaching out to student organizations and clubs. We have a meeting with Dr. Perry Fantini to overhead the DEI committee in the works, and meeting with Ms. Salati, I think, yeah, who is the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Diversity in the College of Business.
Do we have any questions for Diversity Committee? Seeing none, we'll move over to Student Initiatives with Senator Mays.
First, I'd like to motion add Senator Hackbarth to the roll.
Is there any objection to adding Senator Hackbarth to the roll? Seeing none, she shall be sat.
Okay, perfect. So we met on Monday for SI. We didn't have a whole lot to talk about just because we don't have an event coming up like super soon. But we still plan on doing safety walk and having that kind of just be a within StuGov thing. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. And we're going to get a date solidified pretty soon. And then we are starting to get in the talks of the pumpkin smashing event that we did last year. So if any of you have recommendations of things to change, things you'd want to see at that kind of event, let me know. Otherwise, it is a huge event to plan. So any help would be appreciated once we get to that point, but I will update you guys.
Do we have any questions from ISI committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to local affairs with Director Garman. Do we have any representative from local affairs that'd like to speak? Senator Patel.
We don't have much in the meeting, but we are planning the joint meeting with the city on the 26th, and that's about it.
Any questions for local affairs? Seeing none, we'll move on to sustainability with Director Vanderkamp.
So I just have a couple announcements. So there is a sustainability conference hosted by ASHE, which is the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, quite a mouthful. But this is also who we work with through Iowa State University to basically approve that we are a sustainable university. So I will be posting that information on the sustainability Instagram for the committee, as well as feel free to just reach out. I'll drop it in Teams probably as well. Also this weekend, I know that some of us may be tailgating, but if you have the chance beforehand, there's also the Repairs Cafe hosted by Ames, which will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And with having a late game, that gives a little bit more time to stop by if you want. There's also going to be some vendors there selling jewelry and some other things, which I highly recommend going to support the local Ames community. With that, for Campus Sustainability Month, which is this month, they're also looking for volunteers and still individuals to help with planning the event itself. So if you're interested, feel free to look at the Live Green website. You can also feel free to reach out to me, and I'll post those on Teams as well. And then one of the last things is that the University Sustainability Committee has expressed how much they valued the sentiments from student government last year and how that's kind of guiding them this year. So with that, we are looking, Kat is going to help me a lot with doing this as well, so props to her for that, but hosting more green town halls this year, and hopefully by around February, we're hoping to share some more sentiments to the committee as what the students are expecting, as well as hope guide the committee for 23-24 year as well. And then finally, our sustainable projects are in full swing this year. We have a lot of people working towards composting already this year, as well as the expansion of potential biodegradable silverware in the dining areas as well. So more information to come on those.
Is there any questions for Sustainability Committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to Health and Wellness with Director Everest.
Hi everyone. We have our next Party Smart tailgate tomorrow. It's going to be on the South Campanile lawn, so literally right there from 11 to 2. We're going to have student government there. It is part of Outreach Week. We are going to have our chip clips and our table and be talking about student government. Rec Services will also be there. ISUPD will be there, and Student Wellness will be there. We're going to be giving out some swag and some food and promoting how we can have a safe and healthy game day weekend, and if students do choose to partake in certain activities, how they can do so safely. And then also on Saturday, the Student Wellness Department, along with the Collegiate Recovery Group, is going to be hosting the first ever Cardinal and Gold tailgate. So that's going to be at the Alumni Center, and it is a substance-free event. If anyone is interested in popping by, they would love to show some support, or if you are interested in tailgating in a substance-free environment, anyone is welcome. First 100 people are going to be getting t-shirts. I don't know exactly what time it starts, but if you search it, or you should have gotten an email about it, there's information there. I'm also looking for at-larges for my committee, so please, 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 if you hear anyone talk about the word wellness, send them my way. Thank you.
Any questions for Director Everest? Seeing none, we'll move on to our comments from the judicial branch. All right, no one's here. We'll move on to comments with our advisor then.
Thank you, Kit. Hello, everyone. Happy 7th week. I am keeping this up for the whole semester. Started a trend for myself. Just as some updates, the Leaders Workshop Series has events on the 11th and the 25th. On the 11th, they're talking about the demonstration safety team. And if you are interested in that, there's more information on the student engagement website. On the 25th is transitioning organizations, so talking about like transition documentations and things like that. Something all of you should be interested in. Beyond that, We Lead is October 29th. The theme is Leadership Beyond. It's from 10 to 5 in this building. Sub and After Dark are both looking for execs at the moment, so applications are open. If you would like to set up a meeting with me, please let me know. I'm more than happy to chat with all of you. I'm kind of thinking about maybe requiring some meetings to check in to see how all of you are doing. If you're interested in that, let me know. Open to all feedback. And the last thing I would like to say, the student government office space is a space that is shared by all of you. Not just Senate, but also the executive branch and the judicial branch. So I'll be saying this to a variety of people. It is a commonly shared space. Please take care of it as such. A lot of people are in there. We want to make sure it's nice for all of you. So please be responsible for you, your items, and your trash. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Any questions for our advisor? And our last thoughts of the night from our executive branch with President Ludwig.
Hey everyone, just a couple quick updates this week. Special Student Fee and Tuition Committee met last Thursday for its first meeting, mostly informational, setting out the timeline and some of the new procedures for the year. As I said last week, this process will wrap up probably by December, January at the latest. If you have any feedback about fees or interest or questions, you can reach out to the members, which are myself, Senator Yonting, Vice President Ulrich, Finance Director Claiborne, and then there are also 2 GPSS reps for the students. Beyond that, Jaden and I attended a breakfast with the federal relations officers from all the other Big 12 institutions on Friday last week. Got to talk to them about some of our priorities that at the federal level, and also some of our practices here at the state level, because some of them are also their state relations officers. So got to share some of our insights and then talk about how we can collaborate with them going forward. And from our conversations, it seemed like they had a lot of similar priorities, so we're happy to hear that. On Monday, went to Transportation Advisory Council meeting. They are looking for some students to participate in a capstone study sometime in the spring, but I just kind of want to put in your heads now about electric scooters, bikes, and things like that on campus, and how we can kind of maybe shape some policies, and even in some cases the actual roadways and sidewalks that we walk and ride on to better serve, pedestrians, cyclists, and all that. So if you have any interest in that, reach out to me. I'd be happy to connect you with the people at FPNM who are conducting it. And the last thing is Senator Schnepf and I met with Director Barb Neal from SciRide earlier today to just talk about the budget, the kind of out years, and what our strategy is for keeping the trust fund kind of solid. So that's my update for the week. Let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions for our executive branch? Seeing none, we'll kick off the good stuff of the evening, starting with External Matters 2022-2-005F, funding Iowa State Equestrian Hunt Team with Senator Tansey.
I yield my time to Finance Director Claiborne.
If the representative from Hunt Team wants to go to the podium. So again, this is for Equestrian Hunt Team to host an event. They are renting stalls, arenas, and obviously you can see the line items, and then travel for horses. We did fund this last year at a little bit actually more expensive last year. The rental for arenas actually decreased, but everything else is the same. So if you want to introduce yourself and just explain.
Hello, my name is Victoria, and I'm the Vice President for the Equestrian Hunt Team. For those who don't know, our team is an opportunity for Iowa State students to continue riding and bettering their athletic career during the school year, because horses are unfortunately very expensive. So that way these students can enjoy and keep learning without having to deal with the finances of owning a horse. Within our season, we go to multiple shows, and at each show, riders compete and gain points. So our home show is very important to us because we only have a limited amount of shows that we can go to, and each show allows for the accumulation of points, which allows riders to eventually reach enough points to go to regionals and represent Iowa State at a higher competition. So this year for our home show, we are asking for $800 for stalls rental. This cost will allow us to pay for the horses and where they're going to be staying for that weekend. We're requesting about $410 for horse transport, since we have to transport all those horses over to that barn which we'll be competing at. And we have to do X amount of trips depending on how many horses we have to bring in. And we're asking for about $560 for jump rental, because we have to follow IHSA guidelines, and have specific equipment present. So we have to bring in jumps from outside of the barn. So the total will be about $1,770. And yeah.
The floor is now open for any discussion. Speaker Mahoney.
Finance Director Claiborne, I just want to ask, you said $1,770, correct?
Mhm.
The bill total that we would actually be paying is like $3,500, and I'm just curious what the discrepancy is.
Were you saying the 1,700 for the rentals, right?
That's just for everything in total, from what I was given information-wise.
I was given in the, hold on, let me look at this real quick. So in the form that I was given by the treasurer, I was given the amount reflected on the screen. So I was given the $14,000 $1,400 for the stall rental, the $800 for the arena rental, and then that $594.65 for the jump rental, and then the $463.75 for the horse leases. That's what I was received.
Then I'd reference that because I'm just filling in for someone today, so I'm not the treasurer, so I don't have those numbers, so I'd probably reference that.
Yeah. So for the original form that I received and that, according to the bill last year that we funded, the only thing different is the arena, and that's cheaper than what we did last year, but everything else is the same. And it's what I received from the form.
Perfect. I just wanted to check the discrepancy.
Yeah. And if there is, if they don't spend all of that, the rest goes back to us.
Senator Becker.
About how many people are in your club and how many people are you expecting to come to participate in this event?
So in our club, we have about 30 members, not of all of which compete. We have only about 15 to 18 members competing. And it depends on the schools because there's a specific amount of schools in the region, so it's up to them if they want to travel a distance to our show. But there's only about 3 schools right now within the region that can support shows because they have coaches and the resources for it. So if we do not have our show, that leaves only 2 other teams in the region that can have these shows. So without our show, we can't support our riders and let them compete at the higher level.
Got it. Sounds great.
Is there any further discussion on this bill? Question has been called for and seconded. Is there any objection to voting now? Seeing none, I will go into a vote. Being a funding bill, we will do a quick and fun roll call vote. When I call your name, please say yes, no, or abstain, starting with Agba. Becker. Bruick. Burks. Dre. Eisma. Engelken. Frencher. Hackbarth. Heidenreich. Holiday. Kohlhaus. Kuehler. Mahoney. Margaret. Mays. Muskar. Momini. Patel. Schnepp. Shivraj. Slade. Slater. Tansey. Tepete. Vo. And Yonting. All right, with a vote of 27 to 0 to 0, the motion passes.
Thank you so much.
We will now move on to our general orders, special orders 2022-2-022SD, confirming the nomination of a fraternity senator with Speaker Mahoney.
So I'll ask the nominee to approach the podium now. As I said, we saw Brandon in committee on Sunday. We passed favorably, so I will let him speak, and we'll open the floor to questions afterwards.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. A little bit about myself. My name is Brandon Kamstra. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a junior at Iowa State. I'm a kinesiology and health major with a pre-med track. I have been a part of Fraternity Life since spring of 2021, and I am the current chapter president of Beta Theta Pi Fraternity. Yeah, so kind of how I heard about this position, I had a conversation at IFC Delegate with IFC President Jack Doss. He mentioned that the position was opening up, and it kind of shocked everyone in the room that no one knew about student government having an IFC seat, which immediately struck my passion of, we need to fix that. So I immediately went up to him after the meeting. I was like, I would like to run for that because I could see a lot of good coming from someone actually taking that role and using it for benefit for both student government and IFC. Since then, I've had lots of conversations with different chapter presidents as I get to know them all pretty well at Delegate and P Council, and we have a passion and a goal to unite IFC and student government in giving you guys knowledge of what's going on in our community, but you guys also gaining knowledge of what's, us gaining knowledge of what you guys are doing up to the events you guys are hosting. Just in this meeting alone, I've already learned about 5 events that I think I need to advertise immensely to IFC. We heard about the one tailgate at the Alumni Center, but the other one happening on Central Campus was an advertised IFC. Those are things that I want to go back to exec, IFC delegate, P Council, advertise to our presidents, our chapters, that they should be getting involved in, have a passion for, because we could spread the awareness of the greatness of Iowa State University IFC, but also the greatness that student government can bring to IFC. So, yeah, that is all I have. I'll yield the rest of my time to questions.
Yeah, the floor is now open for any questions or discussion we have about the candidate. Senator Becker.
Okay, hi. I'm the CPC senator, so I feel like we'd be working pretty closely together. What is one thing you would like to see change about the Greek community here on campus?
Transparency. There's a lot of that my chapter doesn't even know about what's going on in other chapters, and it's a big goal that I have, but also a fellow brother of mine, Cole Iacker, who's running for IFC president, also has a goal for IFC of transparency of if a chapter's having an issue, it shouldn't be that chapter dealing with it. It should be also the entire Greek community, but also it should be well known at student government, but also the rest of the student body.
Sounds good.
Speaker Mahoney.
So I know we kind of talked about it in Rules Committee, and it's kind of one of the questions I like to ask for the benefit of the body. Obviously, you've talked about transparency and kind of building that relationship between IFC and student government. That's a great project. It's one of the things that I've kind of did last year, building a better relationship between IRHA and student government. But I did want to ask, do you have any specific committees that you'd like to be part of? I know we kind of talked about that. It met length during Rules, but I just kind of wanted to hear from you again.
Yes, one of the big ones is a kinesiology major that I'm interested in is the Health and Wellness Committee, and things that we can do to also provide health and wellness opportunities to fraternity men, those struggling with different things, whether it's substance abuse, anxiety, depression, other things like that, as there are a lot of struggles within fraternity life that aren't out there and open. I'd also, you mentioned a committee working with ISUPD. I think that's a great committee for me to work on with IFC, just so we can have transparency with ISUPD and be working with each other, not against each other on different things. And yeah, I'd also love to kind of headline a little bit more of an initiative with the Office of Equal Opportunity in IFC. I met with their board earlier this semester to kind of discuss what fraternities can do better, and I think that that should be a practice that all fraternity presidents take and move forward with, as they can see offices of EO as an resource and not something that they're required to report things to. So,
Senator Schnepp.
Hi, yeah. So I know you said that you're the president of your fraternity. I'm kind of curious how you're planning on juggling both being the president and being a senator for the fraternity life, because it's both big time commitments.
Yeah, absolutely. So how Beta Theta Pi's fraternity elections work is, starting November, I will start having my first round of elections. So I am actually the outgoing president. I will complete my presidency December 1st. So until then, it's actually kind of already starting now of I'm meeting with future presidents, starting to give them more tasks like that, stuff like that, giving them the opportunity to go to delegate instead of me. So I'm kind of on the downward slope with Beta Theta Pi, and I'm hoping to kind of move on to this position, working with IFC and stuff like that. So I won't have a position as of after December 1st, which opens up my schedule a lot. I also only have 34 credits left at Iowa State University, so my schedule is pretty open next semester, pretty major specific, so I find it pretty easy to do that homework. So yeah, I'll have a lot of time to join different committees and come to meetings like this. So.
Is there any further discussion or questions for our candidate? Question has been called for and seconded. Is there any objection to voting now? Seeing none, we'll go into a vote. Unanimous consent has been called for. Is there any objection to passing this bill by way of unanimous consent? Seeing none, congratulations.
Thank you.
Senator Kamstra, we don't have a justice here to give you the official oath of office, but we'd still like you to take a seat. You just won't be able to make a motion or anything tonight, but
Sounds good.
we'll
Awesome.
fix that next meeting. All right. We will wrap up the night with new business, 2022-2-00AF funding blood drive with Senator Yonting.
So this bill is about funding the blood drive, but since it's already going on, and we can't retro fund that, so this might be tabled, just so you know.
Are there any questions of intent for Senator Yonting on this bill? Seeing none, I will move into closing announcements for the night. Is there anyone with closing announcements? We've got Director Claiborne back here.
Again, if the people who are going to the conference, Big 12 conference next week, if y'all could come to me after the meeting, I'm just going to go over a few things so that are set in stone, just so you kind of have an update of actually what's going on. So, thank you. Also, everyone have a great night. Love the weather.
Director Haas.
Hi everyone. I just want to remind you all that to text me once you've completed a credit, so I can get that recorded. Thank you.
I have one thing, but before I turn it over to our Senate leadership, being in October 5th now, we are 5 days into Green Dot Month. If you don't know what Green Dot is, that is our power-based violence prevention program here on campus. I think Health and Wellness is coming in next week to give a program, so they'll probably touch it on it then. But we're going to be doing a bunch of different things as student government. You'll see Jacob, Emily, and myself sporting the Green Dot pin on our lapels all month. If you are all interested in getting a pin, I think they'll be bringing some next week, but then it would also, if they don't, it'd be a great opportunity for you to go just visit the Office of Student Health and Wellness. It's over by Friley and one of the entrances going into Friley Windows. But that's all I've got, and we'll turn it over to Vice Speaker Bruick.
Hey everyone, so I don't have too much tonight. Softball's ended, so I can't, have fun with that, tragically. But I did have one brief little update. So I met with Sophie today, and we're working on some stuff with the mentor-mentee program. I have a Qualtrics form I'm going to send out to people in the next couple of weeks, where we have some meetings set up with people who actually do surveys as a living. To be like, hey, what's good about this, what's not. But that's in the works. It's there. It's coming along pretty nicely, and that should be out there pretty soon. And then not long after that, once results have been collected, once you all provide your cool answers, I can really start digging into that and making a program that I think is going to be effective and address the needs of the Senate as they need, I suppose. That's all I got. So.
Okay, a couple quick things. One, as Sophie did touch on earlier, please try to help keep the office clean. We got our hands slapped a little bit for some food getting left in there overnight, as well as some trash being left on the table. I know that table gets pretty messy, so I think moving forward, every either Thursday later in the day, maybe sometime during the day, Friday, I'm gonna have people in the office we're gonna clean up real quick. So stuff that's just left sitting out will probably go in a lost and found box. If it doesn't look important, I'm probably just going to throw it away. So if you leave food in there, it's probably just going to get tossed on Thursday or Friday. But please start trying to keep it a little bit cleaner. I don't want to have to clean up after people and we got our hands slapped. So otherwise, committee chairs, please make sure you have your at-larges being added to the MIS. That's how we can communicate with them. That's how they can get their access to the door, as well as add them to the Teams chat and add them to your team. And then I can add them also to like our big group chat that we have. Programs. So we usually, I'm going to start trying to have a program every week moving forward. If any of you have anybody that you would like to come do a program, please send them my way. I'm open to having just about anybody come talk to us if they have something interesting to tell us. So as Vice President Ulrich said, next week's going to be health and wellness. And I've got a couple other ones in the works. I think the Memorial Union will come talk to us at some point. I'm going to have Student Legal come talk to us at some point. So the Daily will probably come talk to us at some point. So we're going to continue to have more programs moving forward. They're a great way to just kind of reach out to a lot of our campus partners. Last thing, if your office, or two more things, if your office access doesn't work, please let Sophie know. Most people should be updated, but I know I keep hearing some things that some people's cards don't work. And yeah, just email Sophie. And last thing, if you're going to the game this weekend, I'm going to have a big tailgate. We're going to have lots of food. Lot B6, the more the merrier, BYOB. So come out, have fun with us.
I have one more quick thing. We do have a justice that just arrived. So if Senator Kamstor, you want to go back to the front of the room, I believe he can get you sworn in real quick.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there we go.
Would someone like to add Senator Kamstor to the roll?
I move to add Senator Kamstor to the roll.
Is there any objection to doing so? You've been added. Are there any other closing announcements?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Go
This meeting is
Cyclones.
adjourned.